When it comes to having the right attorney in your corner, you want to have a proven winner on your side, and Russell Dutch Boyd of VegasCounsel.com knows how to win in Las Vegas. Boyd graduated at 18 years old from law school and is also a 3-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner. And no matter what legal challenges you're facing, Boyd will help you through it all. As a litigation attorney, he covers multiple areas of law, including personal injury, business law and startup, cyber law, and crypto clients, and whatever else you might need to navigate the legal waters of Las Vegas and beyond. Just visit VegasCounsel.com to set up your free initial consultation today. That's VegasCounsel.com and let Dutch Boyd help you win today. Once again, that's Russell Boyd at VegasCounsel.com.
101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN, the talk of Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. 1 full hour of wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's bring on the tag team of Andrew Fish Fain, Joe DeFalco, and your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, and we are back.
We're changing the open to from Andrew Fish Fain to Destroyer of Vandergriff.
Oh God, I'm gonna get him in the studio. You know that, right? we're gonna have a crush fish in the booth match.
Did you order the code red?
There's gonna be fish guts on this soundproof glass in here.
I got Joe to protect me.
You don't have Joe to protect you. Joe DeFalco will not be protecting you. That is
Matt Vandergriff's my guy, so
right. You're dead.
You know, if you said somebody else, sure, but you know, I'm trying to ride on the coattails of greatness. You know.
Well, I didn't want to. I didn't want to seem too egotistical by saying I could take out Hammerstone. So.
Well, it was like yesterday. You know, we had the Halloween show, but we also had the unveiling of the new banner for the FSW Wall of Fame, and we had the Solo Sikoa banner got put up yesterday. And being the gracious man that Sefa is, he also provided a video thanking the fans and, of course, thanking me and FSW. And you know,
that's awesome.
It was a good moment for us yesterday.
That is awesome.
Wow, fantastic. Yeah, I would have come down, but I had to work. So doing the thing here, KDWN 101.5 FM 720 AM, Talk of Las Vegas. But that's Andrew Fish Fain, Joe DeFalco. I'm Mark Hoke, bringing you the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. And I know Fish has to leave a little early, so we're going to get to our predictions.
Get a seat at the Westgate before they all fill up, huh?
Exactly. Come on, don't give away all my secrets.
Yeah, but WWE Crown Jewel is coming up on Saturday, so we're going to break that down for you.
Yeah, baby.
But I do want to hit a couple things that happened in WWE this week. First, on Monday Night Raw, wasn't a very eventful show except for one thing at the end. Nikki ASH is dead.
Thank God.
It's over. It's done.
And I will tell you, the way they have brought her back, they have made her 8 million times stronger and a better character.
Nikki Cross makes her presence felt at the end of Monday Night Raw by, well, beating everybody up like she used to do. And so Nikki Cross, don't know how this is all going to work out because she got involved with Bianca Belair and Bayley.
And Damage Control and the referee.
Just killing people. There were corpses everywhere because of Nikki Cross. But guys, are you excited about Nikki Cross, and what do we do with her? I'll go to you first.
I'm excited about what they've done with the character. I'm not excited about the fact that I don't know how they wedge her in. Because, I mean, especially if you still have Charlotte Flair coming back. You're still going to have at some point, allegedly, Sasha and Naomi coming back. They have a lot of women they're going to be, I believe, probably bringing up at some point from NXT. I just don't know how you fit Nikki Cross in. But I am very excited about what they've done. I mean, like I said, they've done nothing but a positive thing for her and her character by bringing her back the way they did.
Joe, what'd you think?
I think they have too many women and you can't push. You know, at least with the guys, you know, there really is 10, 12 spots on a Raw and a SmackDown for them. On the women, it's like, you know, even if they get 2 segments, you know, you're talking 4, 6, and it's always going to be dominated if Rousey's there, if Charlotte Flair's there, if Bayley's there, if Sasha and Naomi come back.
I mean, think about it. Becky Lynch hasn't been on in a while either, and she's at some point going to come back and dominate as well.
There's too many for the spots that are available. We say that about the guys, but again, a lot of times it's more enhancement stuff. Like, okay, Madcap Moss, he's kind of gone by the wayside, and then they needed to feed him the Cross. And with the women, you just can't fit 14 of them on a show. You know, every once in a while, Dewdrop. Oh, now the rumor is they're going to bring her back to her old name. But it's like they have to cycle in. You know, I've heard through my sources, you know, that Zoe Stark might be coming up soon. So it's like, okay, it's a difficult process. And, you know, there's just too many. So there's not a lot of room. So now people are going to get cycled in and people are going to get cycled out. So, yeah, they could be giving her a push, but it's like, okay, what 4 girls are going to get pushed out, you know, for this cycle, I guess you can say, because they have another 3 months of storylines that they have to, you know, like Asuka. You know, she was ready for, 6 months before they put her back on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing about, and I'm happy that she's back as her old character from when she was in Sanity. I can't say Insanity. In Sanity, the stable in NXT that she was in. But didn't we just make it? No. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, speaking of Sanity, I've heard some rumors that the leader of Sanity will be back in WWE very soon.
Eric Young?
That is correct.
There's more people coming back too. But didn't we just make another psychopath on SmackDown with Liv Morgan?
Maybe that's the foil.
So now we've got 2 crazy psychopaths running around WWE.
And if Alexa Bliss re-hooks up with Bray Wyatt, that would be a 3rd, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna. But
we're ready for the triple threat psychopath match. It's coming soon.
That could be fun, actually. I mean, it'd be fun to have a Nick Foley-esque character flying around in the women's division, which, you know, I think Nikki would be better suited for that than Liv. But, you know, Liv's doing a good job. But you guys were talking about the overcrowding of the women's division already. There's a couple more names that have and could possibly be popping up here, because we just saw the return on SmackDown of Emma. Tennille Dashwood is back. She got beat up by Ronda Rousey. You know, don't know what they're going to do with her, but she just came in. And there are more rumors surrounding Chelsea Green, the spouse of Matt Cardona, that she may be WWE bound as well. So between everybody we got in NXT and, you know, and it's funny because we were sitting here just a little while ago saying, man, there's nobody there. And now all of a sudden, kaboom.
Well, if they're going to build or try to build the women's tag team division to make the tag team titles mean anything at any point, you have to have 2 women per. It's not 1, it's 2, so it doubles it, and you have to have several credible wrestlers. And and we've already figured this part out too, because of the Judgment Day. They're going to have to be a women in other factions as well, so Rhea Ripley has someone to be foiled against.
Well, and I agree with that too. I think that Rhea Ripley. Well, and I forgot who I saw her body slam the other day.
Luke Gallows.
Yes, that's right. She slammed Luke Gallows. And for those that don't know who Luke Gallows is. Luke Gallows is not a small dude. Not at all.
No.
And yeah, you know, you jump when you do slam and all that. But still, she body slammed Luke Gallows.
And she didn't do it like it looked like it was tough. She did it with relative ease.
Yeah, this is, you know, it's going to be fun to see more women involved in on the men's side. And, you know, I thought Rhea Ripley technically should be the leader of Judgment Day anyway. You know, she's the one causing all the havoc. she's petting Rey Mysterio Jr., Dominic, like a dog, a little puppy. It's kind of weird.
Just wait till she rubs his belly.
And he's loving every minute of it.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. But the women's division in WWE looks like is
getting strong, getting bigger. Not necessarily stronger, but getting bigger.
Well, and the thing is, you have a lot of talented women there. They are, there's a few that could go, obviously. I mean,
but like I said, Charlotte and Becky and Sasha Banks, 3 of the 4 women from the women's who started the women's revolution, aren't even on the TV right now.
Yeah, this is a mess. And I hate to say it, but don't want to bust Triple H's chops too much. He's new on the job, but is he overflowing the party here a little bit on both sides?
AEW, I think they need to do 5 more shows.
Well,
and make 4 more belts.
Yeah, but they have 6 more belts.
Was saying they needed more titles. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I heard them talk about having a women's secondary title, like a women's intercontinental title.
I guess that's okay, just because of the fact that, they probably, because they have so many women now. Like, I always thought the tag title was ridiculous. Again, like I said, not one of those tag teams have ever tag teamed until they had a tournament to have a tag team champion. But to have a secondary title, 1,000%.
Yeah, I'm totally down with a women's intercontinental title.
But if they do it, they have to make it mean something.
But don't make it an intercontinental and a U.S. title. Just make the one.
Right. That is
agreed.
Quite enough. And I totally agree with you guys. Totally. So we'll see where all that ends up. But good to see Nikki Cross back.
Borrow one of maybe they can work a deal with Tony Khan to use one of their 17 titles. So
go have Nikki Cross steal the All Atlantic title from Orange Cassidy and see what happens.
I want the WWE to bring back the Western States Heritage Championship.
There was one.
I want the European title back.
What was the other one? They had trying to remember some of those NWA titles.
Oh, I know they had the light heavyweight belt.
Yeah. The Western States Heritage title was the dumbest one. There was no question about it.
I think it was Zbyszko had it.
No, the 24/7 title is the dumbest one.
Sam Houston, I think.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, by the way, did you see Seth Rollins took a little shot when he was doing commentary about Austin Theory cashing in on Dana Brooke, and Dana got all ticked off?
I did not.
Yeah, she wasn't. She apparently wasn't.
She just lost the title on Saturday night's main event, only to win it before the end of the show. So,
yeah, actually, here's what Dana said. She said, "Talk is cheap." She loves doing the words in caps. By the way, I work my ass off every single day. I will not tolerate this blank anymore. I can promise you, I'm the hardest working woman around. Never have I taken off work. Always worked through injuries. Proved multiple times I can fit any position. And do it with a smile.
We don't even see her on TV anymore.
Yeah.
Shut up.
It's a desperate, people are trying to stay relevant. So now how do you do that? Well, nowadays everybody gets to go on Twitter and do it.
Yeah. So be glad she got mentioned, I guess.
Apparently.
So there you go.
She should have been happy. She should thank Seth Rollins for the rub.
All right. So, of course,
Becky wasn't happy with the rub that Seth Rollins gave her.
Hey, now.
Well, probably not.
I guess it's worse if she gives him the rub.
Mark Hoke Show here on KDWN, 101.5 FM, 720 AM, the talk of Las Vegas. These sometimes best in pro wrestling news and entertainment, depending if fish gets in or out of the gutter. We do have Crown Jewel coming up. Oh, baby.
Joe, I got a question for you about Crown Jewel real quick. How are the Usos able to travel to Saudi Arabia to defend their title?
Because Saudi Arabia doesn't care how many criminals come into their country.
Fair enough. Okay.
All right. So this card is taking
They're feeling a little oozy.
This
is
taking place on November 5th.
Next Saturday.
So
not naked. Have they made the other ones before?
No.
No, they weren't at Clash at the Castle. They weren't. They haven't been.
Right. But I'm saying, were they in Saudi Arabia before?
I don't remember them being in Saudi Arabia.
Because again, you can book them to be there, just like they were booked to be at the castle, right? And that's when SEPA came out because
the
Usos weren't there.
No, I get your point.
Of course, we're referring to the fact that Jimmy Uso was arrested for a DUI.
It's Jimmy, not Jay.
Jimmy had one a while back too.
No, okay, I couldn't remember which Uso it was.
Yeah,
because they're both very
The
useful.
same one 6 times and the other one 0 times.
Yeah. So
Because I always joked that Solo Sikoa looked like him, that they would just slide him in and release the other one.
so mean. Well, here's the card, and let's talk about this real quick because I know Fish has to get out.
Is it like 9 a.m. on Saturday our time?
Something like that. So here's your card. We start off. We do have a tag team championship match, as the Usos will be taking on the Brawling Brutes. That it will be Ridge Holland and Butch. Any chance the Usos lose these titles, Fish?
Unfortunately, no.
Joe, you pretty much on board with that?
Wrestle the New Day so they can set the record. But what if the Usos don't make the flight and Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa defend the titles
and lose?
That would be interesting.
Ooh.
Because I don't have any idea if he's booked on the show, but when Solo Sikoa did the video, after he was thanking everybody, he was on his way to Saudi Arabia. He was getting ready to go there. So are they going to fly him in there just to stand next to Roman Reigns? Possibly.
It would be a great way for them to take the titles off of the Usos without the Usos actually losing.
Yeah, we'll see.
Which could cause more inner turmoil.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the best storyline that WWE has going right now.
Yeah, because, they could feel a little less oozy.
Yeah. Bianca Belair will be defending the Raw Women's Championship against Bayley in a last woman standing match, as this just popped up on Raw this week. Is it time for Bayley to win the title? I mean, we probably need a title changeover.
I think Bayley gets the win.
Joe, what are your thoughts on this one?
I thought she should have got it before, but they need to save it. It's a big deal. They barely ever let the women wrestle. Now that they started doing that, now it's the first big moment is actually having a women's match on the show.
Right
now, they have to take the next step and actually have the title change on the show.
All right, so looks like we're picking Bayley. I think Bayley's going to win this too. So, Braun Strowman and Omos in a singles match as the two behemoths will be hooking it up.
This is one of those matches that I'm looking forward to, but I'm also very frightened about.
I think that's everybody's sentiment on this. This could be very interesting, or it could be an absolute train wreck.
Absolutely.
Well, who's going to win this train wreck, Fish?
I think Omos wins because of MVP.
Wow, taking Omos over Strowman in the first big match back. Joe?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't believe, we talked about all those signings and Cross and Strowman and bringing these guys back and everything. And I'll tell you what, they seem to be lost on what they're going to do with them. Then all of a sudden Bray Wyatt comes back, and it's like the thing with Reigns. I can't believe Strowman is going to lose to that goof.
I can't either. Strowman's winning this match. Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross with Scarlett in his corner in a steel cage match. They'll be locking the boys up to fight it out.
The number 2 face on SmackDown loses to Cross.
All right. Joe, is one of your former trainees, Karrion Kross, going to be taking this one home, or will Drew McIntyre get the win?
What? It's really interesting because they're continuing the feud, and it's like, when we talked, it's like the Seth Rollins Cody Rhodes thing. Like, they wrestle 3 times, and you assume that Seth had to win a match, but it's like, so if Drew McIntyre wins, it basically kills all the momentum of the buildup of bringing Cross back. But Drew McIntyre is supposed to be, one of the top 5 guys on the roster. Do you make him lose again to then do what? I don't know. So, I saw on the house shows that Drew's been beating Cross. So I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre.
Wow. I'm sorry. I'm taking Karrion Kross on this one.
I think they have to continue that push.
Yeah, this is why I didn't like this. But the reasons you gave is why I didn't like these two getting into it so quickly right away. I thought it was dooming somebody here, and I think Drew is going to be that person.
And it's weird. It's like, so, I didn't see the match, but it's like, so once again, Cross couldn't even win the match against Madcap Moss without help from Scarlett.
No, he won without Scarlett. Scarlett actually saved Madcap Moss because Cross wasn't letting go until Scarlett told him to let go.
But I heard the setup was she got involved, which allowed Cross to win. Is that incorrect?
I'm running down my results right now real fast.
Yeah, that's what I had read about that Scarlett once again.
She may have done some distractions, but I don't think she necessarily got involved per se.
Cross bludgeoned him with an elbow to the back of the head, and Cross choked out Moss.
And then Scarlett told him to stop, and he stopped.
Yeah, so there you go. We have Lesnar and Lashley. The former MMA stars are going to be hooking it up on this one, too.
I would love to see Lashley win, but I don't see them having Lesnar lose.
Is Lesnar going to be a jobber to the stars, Joe? What do you think?
That's why they took the belt off Lashley, so it's a lot easier for Lesnar to win, and they don't have to worry about titles or anything like that. And, Lesnar did the JOB to Lashley, so especially in Saudi Arabia, where it's obvious Brock Lesnar works every one of those shows, and I'm pretty sure he's gone over in every one of those shows. I'm not sure the one with Reigns, but he's their marquee guy over there that I think they probably pay him extra. So I see Lesnar getting back that victory in a hard-fought 4.5-minute match.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm taking Lashley. I think Lashley's walking out with a win. We have a couple minutes left, guys. So we got the OC, AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, Karl Anderson taking on the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio with Rhea Ripley in the corner.
I think this is a match where you see some female join the OC to help out, and that's why they win. Whoever it is will be a surprise.
Okay, Joe.
I'm waiting for that AJ Styles push for, wasting a year and a half of his life with Omos. So I'm thinking he's got to win.
Yeah, I agree. I think OC's going over on this one. And then our main event, I'm so excited.
Logan Paul's winning.
Roman Reigns defends the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Logan Paul. Fish already weighed in. Joe, any chance Logan Paul walks out with the title? Or at least a victory?
Jake Paul makes his WWE debut, and the Pauls take over WWE.
It's the newest bloodline.
Not a chance. But did you see Jake Paul, by the way, beat Anderson Silva in a boxing match last night?
Oh, he actually won the match?
Yeah.
Yeah, he won a unanimous decision, and it's like, you can't deny he's beating who they put in front of you, but again, it's like, so you're taking one of the great MMA fighters of all time, who has obviously been washed up for 5 years, and now he's in a straight boxing match, even though his main skills are kicking a guy in the face, and he beats him. Again, I don't know how that transcends into fighting, say, Floyd Mayweather type thing, but he's winning. Might as well. Him and McGregor will sell a lot of tickets. So regardless of whether anybody thinks it's competitive or not, or if it's a work, because it's like turned into a work anyway. So
well, there you go. So that's Crown Jewel coming up on Saturday. So make sure you check it out. All right, we are done with another half hour of the show. 1 half to go. Fish is running out the door, but I'll still have Joe DeFalco with me.
Vandergriff, your mind.
Stop it. Go away. Stick around for more on the Mark Hoke Show on KDWN 101.5 FM, 720 AM, the talk of Las Vegas. More on the Mark Hoke Show coming up on the other side of the break.
Tired of the same boring food when you're out for breakfast or lunch? I'm Mark Hoke, and I have an idea for a different place to go with unique food you're sure to enjoy, and that's Unique Eats. Take some time out of your busy day and stop on in to Unique Eats, featuring celebrity chef Dominic Tedesco and his friendly staff. Whether it's a great start to your day with one of Unique Eats' amazing omelets, or lunch with his incredible sandwiches, pasta, and award-winning pizzas, you'll be in for a fantastic dining experience that won't break the bank. Unique Eats also features a smoothie bar and full vegetarian menu as well. Plus, if you need catering, you can count on Unique Eats no matter what the occasion. So what are you waiting for? Get on over to Unique Eats at 3100 South Durango, Suite 100, open daily until 3 p.m. Call them at 702-992-3038 or visit uniqueeatslv.com for their full menu and catering info. Break out of the same old routine and have a great meal at Unique Eats today. Hi, this is Mark Hoke. Has out-of-control inflation, gas prices, and grocery costs wrecked your wallet? Then check into automated day trading with Trading Made Easy. Trading Made Easy has spent 5 years helping people put cash in their pockets with their simple-to-use day trading software. So if you're ready to leave that 9-to-5 job behind, visit TradingMadEasy.com or call 800-971-4160 to sign up for a free live training seminar right now. That's TradingMadEasy.com. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit MarkHokeShow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
1015 FM, 720 AM, KDWN, the talk of Las Vegas.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, and we are back on The Mark Hoke Show on KDWN 1015 FM, 720 AM, the talk of Las Vegas. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. And just to take care of some housekeeping before we get back into the wrestling, got to remind you, we were talking about making some money, doing some sports betting on betonline.ag. But, if you want to do some stuff at home with automated day trading, you can get in some automated day trading software with Trading Made Easy. These guys are absolutely fantastic. Great opportunity for you to quit that 9-to-5 job or just make some money on the side. Go to tradingmadeasy.com. It's so simple. They only needed one E in there. Tradingmadeasy.com or call them at 800-971-4160. It's 800-971-4160. And get into one of those free training seminars today. No obligation. Just check it out. Tell them we sent you and get involved with that. It's Trading Made Easy at tradingmadeasy.com. And then when you make all that money, you're going to need an attorney, so head on over and to give Dutch Boyd a call at Vegas Counsel. Go to vegascounsel.com. Of course, our good friend Dutch Boyd, who just gave me some legal advice the other day. Great stuff. Works in business law and intellectual property, personal injury, crypto law, and can steer you in the right direction no matter what your legal needs. Go to vegascounsel.com, tell him Mark Hoke sent you, and you get a free consultation. And I'm telling you, the guy gives great advice. He's been a friend of mine for a long time, and he's also an incredible attorney. Graduated from law school when he was 18 years old and is a 3-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner. So he's somebody you can trust and knows the Vegas scene really well. That's vegascounsel.com. Of course, we're back on the show. Joe DeFalco. Fish had to bail out. But, Joe, as we have seen on AEW, some interesting stuff going on with MJF, as we had a situation where he told Stokely Hathaway and his buddies in the firm, don't attack Jon Moxley. I want him 100% for Full Gear coming up here in a few weeks. And, of course, the firm attacked them. MJF came out and started chewing him out, and he gets put through a table by the firm as well. Joe, are you buying a change of heart from MJF, or is this a swerve?
Well, you're going to put a guy through a table. That's some swerve to do that. And the thing is, they kind of done that in the past when he came back, to where it seemed like they were going to have him be a babyface, and that was the swerve. So I think to do it again, kind of, it's like, I don't know how that would enhance the thing. I think if they're going to position MJF, in all honesty, he should be a heel, but I think they feel there's more money to be made that way, because the people, and it's about the fans, they want to get behind them. They want to feel MJF is, the guy they were with, from the beginning, and listening to him. And I know how it is that's when I talked about a guy like LA Knight and Danny Limelight, that despite the fact they're heels, when they get on the microphone, you want to pay attention. You don't hear the what chants. So it's like they may boo him during the match, but they give him all the time in the world to talk, because they know he's going to entertain them, and they're enamored in what he has to say. So I think it's a setup for MJF to be a babyface. And there's, he did two babyface things. Hey, I'm going to do it by myself. And then it was like, oh, okay, the people with their worth, we're not going to take this, and they attack him. So I think to do it again and make this a swerve would be not a good move.
Well, there's apparently a lot of talk behind the scenes at AEW about making MJF a babyface, which means a good guy, in case you didn't know that. And there's people over there that are saying that they want to do a full-on babyface turn for MJF. This is from Brian Alvarez at Wrestling Observer and courtesy of Cultaholic. Some people apparently back there think he could be a generational babyface, but there are others that are nervous about pulling the trigger on this. And they were actually, because he's been getting cheered during his segments for a while, they were actually sending him out before the TV shows started, cutting promos and ripping everybody apart and being a jerk to try and counter that. But obviously it hasn't worked. This is an interesting situation, because I think MJF is much better as a heel than he would be as a babyface. But man, like you said, the fans are just so behind this guy. It's going to be hard to keep him that way. I don't know. This is going to be an interesting situation for AEW to deal with.
Sometimes you just got to go with what the fans want. You can't fight it. And, it was, whether it was the Kofi Kingston, movement, when I believe it was Ali was supposed to get the cash and the money in the bank, and then something happened, and then Kofi got that little bit of a run until Lesnar beat him in 12 seconds. But they listened to the fans, the Daniel Bryan. It's like sometimes you just have to, go with the flow. We see it when we do it. Like, I always joke about how, Cross became a babyface only because he showed up on Monday Night Raw. The fans got behind him, and he tried to stay heel, talking about promos, threatening to lock the door of the building and beating the crap out of all the fans. And now they cheer him for that. And it's like, there's no turning back at certain times, that no matter how hard you push. And I think with MJF, they feel that they can recreate, Steve Austin in terms of the anti-movement. And as we know, Tony Khan loves to be a part of everything. So what better way to get Tony Khan involved in the storylines by MJF? Because they did it a little bit in the past with him and Tony Khan. So there's that built-in history there. Then now all of a sudden, Tony Khan is Mr. McMahon and MJF is Austin. And they try to, pull magic from a bottle in a different way.
Yeah, and by the way, betonline.ag, who if you go to markhokeshow.com and click through there and get a membership, is giving you 50% matching bonus for whatever you deposit up to $1,000. Still has those betting odds up for it actually has betting odds up for MJF and Jon Moxley's match, and MJF is a minus 285 to win the AEW World Championship at Full Gear coming up.
If you waited was better odds because he was minus $4 about 3 weeks ago to be champion before the end of the year.
Yeah.
And now I saw it the other day. He was minus 260. You said it went up to 285.
Yep.
But you got better odds in their match, which I guess you could say because he doesn't have to win today, but he could still win before the end of the year. But if Moxley wins in the beginning of November, I find it hard to believe MJF's going to come back within the next 6 weeks and win the title. So I think it's now or it's happening after the year.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens in this saga with MJF. It is pretty interesting, of course. One of the great young talents in professional wrestling right now. Another young talent, and I'm curious to hear what you think about this story. Of course, Austin Theory's been running around WWE, had won the Money in the Bank contract. Finally broke his losing streak where he won a match, but he is still sitting on this contract. There are rumors flying around that they are going to have him keep this briefcase all the way until Money in the Bank next year and put him on a countdown on the show, which I think would be a pretty interesting concept. That's never really been done. Usually the Money in the Bank contract, which gives the person that holds it a shot at the World Championship whenever they want, any moment, any time. Well, now all of a sudden they're saying Austin Theory might wait until next year to cash this in. No guarantee he's going to win. There's also been rumors he's going to cash it in to try and win the NXT Championship. What do you think about that concept, Joe? I mean, you do a cash in the case kind of thing. So what do you think about that?
And again, it depends who you put it on. So, for example, for us, Braxton, who won the cash in the case, is a guy who's part of the biggest faction we got, Lights Camera Faction. Ice Williams is the guy who's been going after Hammerstone, the Fresco and Watson of the tag team. And having those guys, Braxton is basically a champion. Even though he's not a champion, he's got the cash in the case, so he has the clout. And now the same thing's with Austin Theory. Austin Theory is, take the case away from Austin Theory, he's just another guy on the show. But now Austin Theory is presented, even when he's losing, because he can cash in at any time. So keeping that on him as long as you can is the best move. It isn't John Cena having the money, having the case. It isn't, Seth Rollins. It isn't a guy that's perceived as a guy who can be a champion at any time. Austin Theory, if he wins, it's really, he's the fluke guy. If he wins, or if he cashes in, more people think he's going to lose than he's going to win. When John Cena got the case, you knew John Cena was cashing in and winning. And if you look at the history of it, that's how most were an Edge when he was a heel. That's the perfect way for him, and it saved the babyface. With Austin Theory, who in their right mind believes he's going to cash in and beat Roman Reigns for it? Well, pretty much absolutely nobody. It's got to be, Brock Lesnar comes in and kills him, and Theory picks up the pieces. So Austin Theory stays relevant. If he cashes in and loses, well, he's done. And if he cashes in and wins, it's highly unlikely. So you're better off keeping it for 364 days because now he stays a relevant part of the roster.
Yeah, so we'll see where this goes with Austin Theory, and maybe we'll see him taking it all the way to Money in the Bank next year. There's a couple of little stories, and this one I think is intriguing, especially talking to you about, Joe, because of you being a promoter. There's a couple situations going on with Japanese organizations in WWE that are taking place. One is Karl Anderson, a member of the OC, is currently the New Japan Never Openweight champion, and he was scheduled to wrestle on the same day as Crown Jewel, but WWE booked them to, obviously wrestle, as we mentioned, at Crown Jewel, and he said, I'm not coming. He was supposed to defend the title, And it's obviously a major conflict, and New Japan is not happy about this. How do you deal with something like that, Joe? I mean, obviously, this is kind of on a huge level, but, if someone makes a commitment to you that you're going to be there and then you're not, it's difficult, but at the same time, it's WWE. So, that would appear to take priority first. What do you think about this situation with Karl Anderson and New Japan?
I think Karl Anderson has made the majority of his money in his career through New Japan. He's been with them on and off for numerous years. So to me, it's bad business because he did take that booking. And, word came out initially that, hey, they were going to let them honor it. Now, I don't know how the contracts are situated in Japan with New Japan, but bottom line is if you're contracted to be there, I don't think it's so simple that you just say, I'm not going to show up. Now, when we have those issues, like, hey, at Against All Odds in November 20th, well, Gregory Sharp, our Nevada State champion, Jacob Austin Young, Danny Limelight, West Coast Wrecking Crew, Bateman, they're all booked at New Japan. So even if I gave those guys the dates a month before they got them from New Japan, I understand, and they know I understand, that that is a priority for them. So there's not going to be any issues. There's not going to be any heat. I've had problems with younger guys who take my booking, and they're students at the school, so they're not being paid to be a part of the show. They're getting their dues dropped because I'm utilizing them in the situation. They're not main players. They're a guy that we're using. And we had one incident. One of the younger guys on a Friday knew that he had the match on Saturday, but Friday night, another company contacted him out of Arizona, and he told me that unfortunately he was canceling my booking because they wanted him on the show. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You took my booking. And it's like, well, business is business and they're paying. And it's like, okay, well, that has nothing to do with anything. But there's conflict with some of the people that I rely on, the Remy Marcells and things like that, that feel it should be forgiven because he's looking to get out there. And it's like, you made a commitment. So why would I allow that guy to get booked again on my show? Why would I think he's not going to do it again?
Right.
So I explained I have 50 guys that are fighting for 25 spots. Why wouldn't I make sure that the guy that I know who's going to be loyal to me? With Karl Anderson, it's like he took the WWE booking after the fact, and it was like, hey, he won their championship, and he's not going to do the time-honored tradition and dropping the belt. And I get it. He's probably getting an extra $50,000, not only to show up, and because it's Saudi Arabia. Now, would he have done that for a normal show? Probably not. But he was also the guy that comes across as a hypocrite because I guess, the issue with being docked on the runway, and it was all lies, and he would never go back there again, makes him look bad. But the bottom line is he could care less. He sees that as an opportunity to make a lot of money, and he's choosing it. So, that's bad business to me. So, unless if I'm Triple H and running WWE, I would try to make it right in a way, but it's hard because anybody who's worth anything is also going to Saudi Arabia.
Right.
So you really can't make up for it. Obviously, they have no problems with doing it. I see Nakamura's wrestling on the Great Muta show at Pro Wrestling Noah. So they're open to dealing with them. And we've heard numerous times about New Japan wanting to work with WWE and WWE want to work with New Japan. But, the stickling point is WWE will work with New Japan if New Japan doesn't work with AEW anymore. So, it becomes this big political game that WWE, if I'm New Japan, I'll stick with AEW just because WWE can do it. And then they could end up not doing anything with them. And now they have nothing. So it's a difficult situation. And if Karl Anderson wasn't a champion in New Japan, it would be pointless. Nobody would care. It wouldn't matter. But this guy's the champion, and now he's one of their champs, and now he's not going to be there after he committed to being there. So, I think if he's got a signed contract, they'll do something.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a mess, and and like you mentioned, I was going to bring that up, that if WWE is going to be starting to work with New Japan and other organizations over there,
not a good way to get things started.
Yeah, because now and as you mentioned, Shinsuke Nakamura is going to be wrestling on Pro Wrestling Noah, a Japanese organization promotion,
which is also a competitor with New Japan. So that makes it look even worse.
Yeah, this is going to get really convoluted really quick, and if WWE wants to make an enemy real quick, I think they're doing it here. So I don't know if they really needed to have that match with the OC against Judgment Day at Crown Jewel, but I'm guessing the Saudis probably wanted them, I suppose.
Well, yeah, and it fits the storyline, and again, every company wants to do that. In the past, when we had our guys, the Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, Dave Marquez, he would run his TV a lot of times on Sundays, and we would do Sundays. So a lot of times I'd have a guy like Willie Mack, or I'd have LA Knight, and they were scheduled, and in LA Knight was usually, he was our elite champion. He was, the heavyweight champion at times. But, there were times we had to cancel him, 2 weeks before the show because Marquez decided to do TV. And unfortunately, even though they made the commitment with me, I always knew that, hey, Hollywood is their priority. Just like for us, as I've explained to our guys, like a Matt Vandergriff, unless he's going to work Impact or New Japan, he's not canceling my show to go work some random California show because they hit him up.
Right.
Everybody's got to have their priorities. And we feel that if I'm training you, if I'm not your priority, then you're just another guy. So when you're just another guy, I'll call you. You don't call me. I'll let you know when I need you. Yep. And, sometimes guys do bad business, but, if you see my roster, you can tell who the guys are that are extremely important to me, and I feel that I owe them for what they've done for the company.
Yeah, it was, and this has been going on for a really long time. I don't know if you've seen the new Tales from the Territory show. Did you get a chance to see any of those yet?
I did not.
Yeah, they're doing stories where they're going through all the different territories. This is on Vice TV, and discussing some crazy stuff that happened. And I got to watch the AWA one where Greg Gagne was saying about how Hulk Hogan bailed out on him and didn't finish his commitments to them. And apparently Vince was paying him to stay home. And there was another story that came out that Gagne was on the same subject, talking about the only one that didn't bail out on him when Vince was raiding the AWA was Bobby Heenan. This has been around forever, that people, contract issues and, stepping on people's toes and so on. And
it's always been shady. But back in those days, word of mouth, and that was the commitment. Guys were based off of appearances, and you're booked, and you could be booked, but you don't have a signed contract, and we use you when we use you. And no offense, I know it's his dad, but Vern Gagne was also known to be somewhat shady in his dealings with people. So, when somebody got a different offer, in most cases they were bailing, and a lot of times they didn't want to burn bridges. So, they did the time-honored tradition and did the jobs on the way out and gave their 2-week notice, to wrap up the TV storylines and stuff. But it was, back then it was more in the 80s, like the Wild Wild West.
Yep.
All of a sudden the guy was here and Lex Luger could show up on a tape on Monday Night Raw and then also be on a live Nitro. So.
Yep. All right. Well, hey, another great show. I want to thank Joe DeFalco for being with us. And, of course, Andrew Fishfane had to bail out. But another fun edition of the Mark Hoke Show. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show. And, of course, download those podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. And visit us on our website at markhokeshow.com. Guys, we will see you next week. Thanks for joining us here on KDWN. Have a great Sunday, Las Vegas. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.